Hey guys, Work here, welcome back to The Bench. Today we're going to cover something that is kind of near and dear to my heart, and that is CZ pistols and one of the issues with them. So we had a live stream about a month ago, and in that live stream we were talking about biggest pet peeves with our favorite pistol brands. Now, one of my favorite pistol brands is CZ, and one of the pet peeves that I've got about them is their roll pin retention of their firing pin. Now, the reason that annoys me is because their original roll pin is far too soft of a metal, and under dry fire practice, you can actually deform that from the firing pin repeatedly hitting it, to the point where it's difficult to get out and eventually will break and make the pistol malfunction. Is it safe to dry fire your CZ? Let's go into it. The way that the CZ firing system works is the hammer comes up, hits the firing pin goes forward, and what keeps it in place is this pin right here. Now, when you don't have a round in the chamber, and that's either a round or a snap cap, the firing pin will go too far forward and will actually impact that pin and will eventually deform it to the point where it either stops the firing pin from working or fails altogether. Now, that is after a lot of dry fire, but there's a couple of different things that you can do that are very simple in order to keep this from being an issue. So the first thing that you can do is you can replace that pin with a pin from Cajun Gunworks. This is a roll pin from Cajun Gunworks. It's hardened and it's not going to deform like the spring pin in the stock CZs does. The second thing is kind of a trick that's learned when you start shooting CZs enough, and that is to keep the hammer from hitting the firing pin at all. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to grab an O-ring. This is just a nitrile O-ring. I got this one in a variety pack of O-rings from Harbor Freight. What we're going to do is we're going to put this O-ring right down into this channel, right on top of our firing pin. Now, every time I pull that trigger, we're actually not impacting the firing pin, the frame, the slide, anything. It's just impacting that O-ring. I can pull this trigger as much as I want, and I'm never going to have an issue because it's never contacting any hard surface. I can cycle the firearm. We can grab dummy rounds. We can run reloading drills. And any other drills that you need with that O-ring there. And if you get the right size, it will stay in place. Honestly, it's cheaper for me just to go and grab that variety pack from Harbor Freight than it is to actually try to find the specifically sized O-ring. So I mean, I've lost like 10 of those things and it doesn't matter because I've got 20 of them still sitting in there. So all in all, under normal use for your everyday shooter, you're not going to probably damage the pins on a CZ. But if you're serious about your shooting and you do any dry fire practice, you're going to want to look into one of these things, if not multiples of them, in order to alleviate any issues you have. Now me, I've replaced my pin and I use an O-ring in the channel. I like the O-ring in the channel a little bit more because I don't feel like I'm wearing anything out at that point. That's it for this time, guys. Just going over the logistics of dry firing a CZ and one of the precautions that you need to take in the event that you do. Remember, guys, if you found this video useful, go ahead and like and subscribe down below. I appreciate every one of you. And until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.